especially for Carlos, when he became a dad, there was no social media. We didn't have smartphones.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
All right, we were not.
Yeah.
We were not in Bedrock.
We
We,
didn't
were
talk-
not with the Flintstones. We did have computers back then.
They
Yeah.
got computers.
And we did have phones.
It was this thing called dial-up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Y'all know about that.
You know about the dial-up.
right?
Young people, Google it, YouTube it.
Hey, fellas, and welcome back to this episode called Fatherhood Isn't a Solo Mission, Part 2. Do yourself a favor and be sure to check out the first episode. But for now, enjoy this.
Good. So the second thing we were going to talk about is the priority of time.
Yes.
As a new father coming into that space, and not even just as a new father after the baby is born, but even prioritizing, again, as we talked about, the time that you're taking to support your wife, to spend time with her, to support the mother, to be available when she needs something. I can remember coming home from work some days being exhausted. My wife was pregnant with my son. All I want to do is just get home. I don't want to sit in any extra traffic or any of that stuff. And I get that call. Hey, baby, what's going on? You close? I'm almost at home. What you need? I really need an icy. That was her craving.
Yeah.
All right, baby.
Yeah.
You want it from Target, right? Yeah, the red one on the way, right? So we have to be able to prioritize. And sometimes a part of the prioritizing is knowing that I can't put myself first always.
Come on, man.
That's one of the things that we have to recognize and understand about priority. Because when we understand that concept, now the hard thing or the non-desirable or undesirable thing that needs to be done that I don't want to do, if I understand that I have to put my personal desires to the side sometimes in order for me to be effective for my family, you'll be able to really exercise that muscle a lot better.
Right.
So prioritizing time, what you guys want to kind of pepper in on that one?
Yeah. I mean, it's I'll tell you this, just in my experience, it's been, I know, especially for the twins, like that was tough.
Yeah.
With twins?
with twins. That was tough. And
that's when you walking in with the
double
car seats
double
like
car
this.
seat.
Yeah.
Like the water going on, you know. Like, brother, you been working out? No,
No,
I'm carrying
you
these
carry
kids.
the
And they getting bigger and bigger every day.
Yes.
But just trying to really, because the thing with the boys was that they had two different schedules. We couldn't get them on the same schedule.
Yeah.
You know, so, you hear all the time, when the kids nap, you nap. There wasn't no napping.
Yeah.
We would get power naps in, you know what I mean?
Right.
But that was pretty much it. So trying to identify and solidify a time was tough for me, especially with the twins. But my wife and I also understood just from our previous children, with Samaj and Simone, that was essential, even more now than ever. You know what I mean? So I think, to your point, really putting yourself on the back burner as a father, because you understand that your wife has to be engaged and committed, whether it be with breastfeeding, skin to skin, putting the baby to sleep. You really have to put yourself on the back burner and identify what it is that she needs. And so prioritizing your time is going to look a little different now.
Right.
You know, we always talk about self-care. You may not necessarily have as much self-care as you once did prior to the baby being born, because now your priority is in the mother and the child, right?
Yeah.
And so, it's okay to play video games or to go out golfing and get what you need to be able to kind of recharge. That's good. But it may have to shift a little bit, and it may have to shift now to where what you're doing to exercise self-care and disconnect and recharge is not as much or as lengthy as you used to, because now it could become maladaptive. It could become maladaptive behavior. So let me explain. So, and I'll give you an example, like with gaming, right? With gaming, I know sometimes we can get on there and it's fun and you're connected with the community online. 1 hour turns to 2, 2 hour turns to 3, and before the baby, maybe it wasn't a big deal. I still wouldn't say that's good, but to each his own.
Yeah.
I'm not judging. But now that you have a child, you really have to be mindful of the way that you distribute and navigate your time. So once was 2 or 3 hours on the gaming system, you can't do that anymore. That's when it becomes maladaptive, right? Because it was your outlet, which was used for a good cause, for you to recharge, but now you're overstepping your boundaries. Now it's too late to pull back.
Yeah.
Now there's an issue between you and your spouse or your significant other or your child's mother because you're not prioritizing the time to take care of your family.
Yeah.
And so now we got to look at it from that lens. Can you talk about the scripture?
Yeah, I was just about to mention that one. So there's a verse in scripture that says in 1 Corinthians 13, when I was a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. And that putting away of childish things is not always you stopped with the thing you do, but it's again, as I mentioned earlier, it's recognizing that I can't be selfish with what I desire and taking that above what is needed for my wife or needed for the kids. And even when it comes to things, it could be the video gaming, but let's say before you had a son, you and the boys, like me and the fellas, every Friday, Saturday, we go on and we got this weekend thing that we do, and that's great. But now you might have a situation where for your wife or for the mother, she had a rough week, she had a lot that was going on, and Friday for her needs to be a decompressed day.
Yeah.
And that's where that putting away the childish things and not being selfish is, hey, fellas, I'll catch y'all next week. Man, what you mean? I can't do this week. I got to be home because my wife needs some time.
Yeah.
She had a challenging week. I've got to fill in some gaps.
Yeah.
But I'm back on next week. Promise you guys that.
And if they're real friends, they should understand why.
They should understand why.
Right? Yeah.
Right, because I've always had this philosophy when it comes on how we got on this. Maybe we talk about husbandry in the future. But I've always had this mindset of the people who I really open up to have to be people that their best interest is for me and my spouse.
Gotcha.
If their best interest is just for me, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Because you might start leaning me in a direction that is not supportive of my union.
Say that again.
So I gotta make sure, to your point, if they're like, oh no, man, you just whipped, da 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 da, and we gonna do that in jest. I get that. But if it's a pressure thing, nah, bro, you can't do them like that.
Yeah.
Because that man's trying to make sure his union stays strong.
That's right.
And every brother should be in support of that.
That's right. Yeah.
So
and that's definitely not cool if you were in the wedding.
come on, man. You standing up there like, I got your back. Man, come on, ditch her. Let's get out of here.
My best man. You talking about, man, forget it. Oh, okay. You can't answer to this. Yeah.
And then, Carlos, anything you had on before we wrap up, priority of time?
Priority of time. There's a couple of things that came to mind as you all were talking. One is that this gives you as a father and as a husband to step up to be a leader.
Yeah.
Your season has changed in life.
That's good.
Whether you have this is your first son or another child, your leadership skills should be on display at this point.
Wow.
And what does that look like in order to be a leader, to be a servant leader? Because you are going to serve your spouse and you're going to serve your child well. And oftentimes it's not always you have to neglect yourself, but you have to mark your time as to when you can refresh yourself, get refreshed so that you can get back in the game and be the leader that God has called you to be.
Right.
That's the first thing that came to mind.
I like that.
The second is that I know that it can be overwhelming sometimes, but read the room. Read the room with your spouse, with your child, to understand how can you best serve them in that space.
Man.
Sometimes the wife won't even say anything, But if you are in tune with her
Wow.
and you can connect with her, you can even ward off some of the things that she may be feeling.
Yeah.
Because it could be irritating to her that you've spent 3 hours on a game.
Mm-hmm.
It could be irritating to her that you every week that you've gone out with the boys,
Yeah.
right? To do that. So understanding how you read the room. And then lastly, I'll say, in order to mark time, it would be wonderful for you and your spouse, wife, significant other to have conversations regarding the expectations.
Yeah, that's good.
Especially because the family dynamic has changed. Even if you had one child or multiple, even bringing the new baby home, the family dynamics have changed. So having that open conversation on a regular basis, not just one time, but on a regular basis
That's right.
about what those expectations are going to look like,
Right.
so that you all are aligned in how you're going to parent, how you're going to share time, how each one of you all are going to get your individual time, so that you can get refreshed. So those are the things that came to mind when you all were talking.
When you say communication on a regular basis, like what does that look like? Are we talking to like maybe once or twice a day, or, you know, always having a rhythm of communication, like breaking down everything that needs to be done every moment? When you describe that, like, what does that mean in terms of the communication?
So I'll go back to what I said, read the room. It depends on what your circumstance or your situation calls for. Because if you've got a child that may require a whole lot of attention, you're going to meet more frequently. But if you got a child that, oh God, they sleep 12 hours a day, and you all can have that conversation, it may be just every 2 days. You're just touching bases.
Got it.
Or a week. So it really depends on your circumstance and situation. So you as a leader should be initiating those conversations that you have with your spouse.
Yeah, and she would appreciate that too.
And I think a lot of the reality is, a lot of men watching, you've already developed this skill, right? So in your workspace, you spend the optimum amount of time where the most fire is, or maybe the biggest challenges when it comes to work. So when things are smoothly running, you're probably, hey, we have a meeting on the schedule. Things are going well. It might be a quick 5-minute meeting, or it might even be an email. We're just going to cancel the meeting. So translate that to you and your spouse. Things are going well. It's just a text. Hey, babe, just checking in. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? That can be the communication.
Yep.
But when the house is on fire at work and you're trying to meet a deadline, you guys are meeting routinely. Hey, we got to bump that meeting up. We were going to meet at 12, but we just got message from the boss. Something else is going on. We need to meet at 10, right? So it just depends on, like Carlos said, where you are in that space. And again, we have the skill sets because we're doing this in our workspaces already. It's just translating those skill sets into your home and into your marriage. Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
The last thing that I would say about that, and thank you for, because you reminded me about something else too, is that fellows, with your sons at this stage, this is probably the most critical stage for you in bonding with him. So that time you can never get back, but you can take your time now and make these more memorable with the experiences that you actually have with him. You can also create rhythms and patterns and special experiences that you are sharing, just you and him together.
Yeah.
And it's so wonderful to actually have that time with him. So as he gets older, then that's just become that will become routine for you all to spend those quality moments together. And it doesn't feel awkward because you've already been doing it in this particular stage.
Day one.
Right. Establish it from day one.
Yeah.
That bonding time that you have with him.
I like that, man.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, when you mention that bonding time, it also makes me think about, and I talked about this during one of our episodes, talking about the covering stage.
Yeah.
Just capturing those moments.
Yes.
Whether it be by photo, I would record a lot. I would have a recorder and I would record a lot. But videos, photos, just always making sure that those moments are captured. That way, when he gets older, you can be able to share with him those times and opportunities that you all had together and why that bond is so strong. This is where it was developed.
Yep.
Yes.
This is where it came from.
Yeah.
And then he'll take that and he'll pass it down to his children.
Exactly.
When you were saying that photos, I thought about a picture I have, me and Liam, my son, when we went to a pizza spot. This is the first time taking him to like the little pizza spot. We get this big old pizza, set it in front of him, like, dive in, man. And he's like holding this big old pizza. And that's the picture I have. But you're so right, man. Capturing those memories are so critical. And again, just like Osai sharing, we're going to put the ask out there again to our brothers in the Men's Power Connect community. Go to the comments.
Please.
Share some experiences that you've had in the covering stage with your son that other brothers, other men can benefit from. We'll share these. And then even when we do the focus group, this may be some things that we can share as nuggets for them to say, hey, here are some things from the men in our community they have shared that were impactful for them, that were powerful things that they learned in the covering stage that they wanted to share with you guys as well.
Can I add a twist to that too?
Absolutely.
That's good. I want that to happen too. But I know there's some women out there that's listening to this now or viewing this. So if you had your husband or significant other do something that just blew your mind, or that, oh my God, that was so thoughtful, we want you to write that in the comments as well, so that we can share that, because you have a perspective on what your husband or significant other did as the son was growing during that covering stage.
That's going to help a lot of our brothers out too.
It really will.
That's good. And then we want to invite brothers who are watching, if you're in the covering stage, we're going to be doing another focus group with a lot of these topics that we hit on. This is where these came out of. If you're interested, www.menspowerconnect. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. You'll see the contact section. You want to make sure that in the subject line, as you fill out that information, you put covering stage focus group, and somebody will be in touch with you to provide some more information. All right. With that, fellas, I think we had a close on this episode.
Yes.
We want to again thank you guys for continuing to support Men's Power Connect. If you're watching and you're not subscribing, what you doing? Go ahead. Hit the button. It's easy. Go ahead and subscribe. Join the community so you continue to get this content that these great brothers are putting out every single week. With that, you guys know what to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Make sure you go out
and encourage another brother. Yes, please. Peace, guys.
Hey, yo.